When I think back to that strange day in Dallas, Texas, I can still feel the awkwardness in the pit of my stomach. My name is Ethan Walker, a 24-year-old college graduate trying to find his footing in life. My girlfriend, Emily Carter, was the brightest part of my world. She had a contagious laugh, green eyes that sparkled when she was excited, and a kindness that made people naturally gravitate toward her. Emily had invited me to spend the weekend at her aunt's house. Her Aunt Linda had a beautiful home in a quiet neighborhood, and since Emily's parents were traveling abroad, Linda had been like a second mom to her. I had met her only once before at a family dinner, and she struck me as warm, witty, and very protective of Emily. On that Saturday morning, I woke up early after a long drive the night before. Emily was still asleep, so I decided to freshen up with a shower. The guest bathroom was small but neatly arranged with fresh towels, lavender-scented soap, and framed photographs on the wall that gave the space a cozy feeling. I turned on the hot water, stepped in, and let the steam wash away my tiredness. Just as I was rinsing my hair, I suddenly heard the bathroom door creak open. "Ethan," a surprised voice called out. I froze. It was Aunt Linda. For a split second, panic surged through me. The frosted glass of the shower door blurred everything, but I could see her shadow pause at the doorway. "Oh my goodness, I am so sorry," Linda exclaimed, quickly turning away. She had clearly not expected anyone to be in there. I scrambled, my voice cracking with nervousness. "It's fine. I should have locked the door." Her footsteps retreated quickly, and the door clicked shut. The whole encounter lasted less than 5 seconds, but it left my heart pounding as if I had run a marathon. When I got out and dressed, I rehearsed what I would say. Should I apologize? Should I pretend it never happened? My face burned with embarrassment. At breakfast, Emily and her aunt were already at the kitchen table. Emily was smiling, sipping coffee, while Linda sat across from her with a slightly awkward expression. When I walked in, both of them looked up. "Good morning," I muttered, sliding into the seat next to Emily. Linda gave me a polite smile, her cheeks still faintly red. "Morning, Ethan. Sorry about earlier. I didn't realize you were using the guest shower." I quickly waved my hands. No, it's my fault. I should have locked the door." Emily's eyebrows knitted together. "Wait, what happened?" I glanced at Linda, unsure whether to say anything, but Linda chuckled nervously. "Just a misunderstanding. Nothing to worry about." Emily looked between us suspiciously, but then shrugged it off. Still, I could feel her eyes studying me throughout breakfast. The day went on with planned activities. Emily took me around Dallas to show me her favorite coffee shop, a park where she used to play as a child, and a bookstore she loved. But I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling from that morning. Every time I glanced at Aunt Linda, she smiled warmly, but there was still that tiny shadow of awkwardness lingering. That night, things took an unexpected turn. Emily and I had just come back from a walk when Linda called us into the living room. She was sitting on the couch with a serious expression, her hands folded neatly in her lap. "I need to say something," she began. "Ethan, about this morning. I don't want there to be any tension or misunderstanding. It was a mistake. I walked in without knocking, and I feel terrible for embarrassing you." Her sincerity caught me off guard. "Really, it's okay," I said. "It was nothing." Emily frowned. "Wait, so you really did walk in on him?" Linda sighed. "Yes, but it was just a mistake. I want both of you to know I respect your relationship, and I don't want this to become a shadow over your time here." Emily reached for her aunt's hand and squeezed it. "We know, Aunt Linda. It's fine. Things happen." I felt a wave of relief wash over me. What I didn't expect, however, was what Linda said next. "Actually, there's something deeper I want to share," she admitted, her eyes softening. "I've been living alone for a long time. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in work and responsibilities that I forget how to slow down. Seeing you two together this weekend reminded me of the importance of family, of love, of not taking the small moments for granted." Her voice cracked slightly, and Emily leaned over to hug her. "We love you, Aunt Linda. You've done so much for me my whole life. You deserve happiness too." I sat quietly, touched by the vulnerability of the moment. The awkwardness from earlier melted into something more meaningful: connection. Over the next 2 days, Linda opened up more about her life. She told us stories about her younger years, her dreams she had put on hold, and even regrets she carried. Emily listened attentively, often holding her aunt's hand, while I found myself admiring Linda's resilience. By the time we left her house, everything had shifted. The shower incident that could have turned into an embarrassing, tense situation had instead opened the door to deeper understanding. Linda hugged us tightly before we drove off. "Take care of each other," she said warmly. Emily laughed. "Always." As we drove back to the city, Emily turned to me. I think that whole awkward thing ended up being a blessing." Aunt Linda seemed happier after talking to us. I nodded. Yeah. Sometimes unexpected moments bring people closer. And I realized then that life has a funny way of surprising you, not with perfect plans, but with messy, awkward situations that somehow reveal the most important truths about love, family, and forgiveness.